This is how I made $12,000 this week trading the NASDAQ, all live for free to my community. So it all started when I posted this specific range to my students. You'll be seeing a picture right now. I told them, and I've been teaching them about this new mechanical type of trading that I've been getting into. I don't believe in the usual mechanics of inversion to higher and time frame and lower, whatever they try to talk about. I really don't believe in that. True mechanics is the rebalancement of a specific range. So right now I'm in a long. I entered out of the sweep of the first mitigation of the equilibrium of the last leg. All I did was measure that range, and all I'm trading with was the 50%, which is where I took my entry, and the higher quadrant, which is where price is dealing right into right now. I'm marking this body. If price is able, which we're about to see that it's not, if price is able to deal above this swing point, then I would be able to trail underneath the swing lows that we're trading underneath those quadrants. But that ICT suspension block is a 3-minute suspension block that price has been trading into for a while. I'm sorry, it's a 1-minute suspension block. And you can see how price has been constantly using that array to trade higher or lower. So now I'm starting to see that maybe price is not really willing to trade higher from here, which in the internal range, we're still a low premium, so we can still come into the 50% into another ENR model. So I'm about to see if price maybe wants to get a outright close above these bodies. If we don't get a close, we're gonna dump. And we should see some speed down now because we're lacking to close, rather we're wicking, and there's a speed. Once we stop hunt, some more liquidity as of now underneath those swing lows, then maybe now we can see some higher prices and continue with the trade. And there it is. There's a flush that I was talking about. Now that we've stop hunted that no wick candle, we can very likely see higher prices from here. I want you to observe specifically that inversion for rally gap and my stops. I want you to specifically observe that level, and then I want you to question why price is reacting the way it is. Most people, and you, if you were in this trade, you would be shaking, moving in your chair like, why is price returning to my break even? I'm gonna go break even. I'm gonna go break even. You would be probably freaking out like, no, what did I do wrong? Just no. Just observe what price does to this specific inefficiency. The same way that I'm projected and I'm showing that suspension block, the same way I want you to look at what price is doing around this one inversion for value gap. And most importantly, I want you to look at the bodies. You observe how my stop is a tick and a half underneath the close of that inversion. I want you to look at the bodies. Just look at how the bodies react to that 50% level and how they do not surpass it. They might trade underneath it for half a tick, but they're not going to surpass the 50% of that inefficiency or now inversion for value gap. You observe this? And I want you to take a note and wonder why this is happening. And then I'm going to explain it to you. All right. So if you observe, within this inefficiency, though it's not a suspension block, within it, we have a internal stop hunt giving you also a breaker. So some of my students that have been with me for a while, they know that my first model to ever present to y'all was a reversal model or a 30-second breaker model. What does that mean? Any form of reversal or continuation, whether it's internal or external, it's on the super highest of time frames, or it's just really all working within fractals itself. It's always going to be out of a stop hunt of internal stop hunt. And what does that give you? A so-called breaker. That is what ICT has always said. The breaker is one of the strongest arrays, period. Because true students of IPDA or algorithmic price action understand that a breaker, all it is just the stop hunt being reversed. It's the final form of a trap after a soup. So how do you form a breaker? You sweep liquidity, trap internally both sides, literally and then you sweep out, breaking out in a way. Again, remember, everything is a support and resistance based. But now that I got jabbed into much, do you observe how we ran like 25 points above that inefficiency? And like I mentioned, the bodies never went underneath the 50%. Now you're thinking, oh, but it's gonna inverse that for value gap and it's gonna go lower. Well, my friend, we shall see. I just want you to look at how price is going to restop that low. Again, it's all stops. We're about to come into the macro. This is why it's called time and price. I want you to look at how that last stop, that final trap runs, and the macro immediately opens. And look at what we do. Just observe what's happening. Oh no, but it like ICT is crazy and this is all random. Do you think it's random? Now I want you to look at how we're going to use the quadrants that earlier I mentioned and that we earlier used to trade lower to now trade higher. Oh, but this, oh, but that. No, just I want you to just look at how exact price is going to be, mainly as we come into deal onto that specific array that I've had marked out. The algorithm uses arrays that creates a specific times of day to trade into and use out of. And you can usually tell which ones they are, even without looking for the time of day. So now I want you to be specific. Do you see how that last candle broke above with a nice body, creating a little order block above that previous high? And now we're literally just using the specific quadrant to deal possibly higher. Now I want you to specifically look at how price starts treating the ICT suspension block. I want you to look at how price uses it to treat, to deal within its own range. You notice how selling and buying comes right from mitigating it, creates a little trap, immediately mitigates above. Again, remember, the algorithm is moving from high to low to trap buy to sell. But do you see? Breaks, closes at around 50%, and now it's going to use the other brokenly wicks that were used to trade lower. It's literally, I'm not marking it out, but it's using the other wick to trade within its 50% and now trade higher. It fills out the inefficiency, and now it's going to continue its run above the suspension block. Because now time is in pair. Before, all that lack of power is because time wasn't in play. This is why it's called time and price. But no, it's all random. Now let's see what it does after this last candle. Oh no, but ICT is crazy. Well, he might be crazy, but this just made me $12,000 this week. Have a wonderful day, gentlemen. I'll see you guys in the next one.